Hi everyone, my name is C. I'm the creator of the channel Minimal Chic SF. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I make videos on minimalism, sustainability, luxury fashion, as well as do, I would say, our newest topic series on self-care. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing or hitting that thumbs up button. Before we get into today's topic, which is 5 self-care ideas for work-life balance, I want to just give you a few housekeeping items. So the biggest and most important one is if I am not a mental health professional, I would say if you are looking for those kind of resources, please seek professional guidance. These ideas and experiences are largely my own, and I just wanted to share them with you. That way you can, I would say, make the knowledge and make the informed decision that you need to improve your self-care. I'd say second, if you're looking at more self-care topics, I would say we're doing a new series. This is really to focus on a few things that we have found to be essential when it comes to working towards minimalism. I'd say in number 3, my most important one that I'm passionate about, again, you guys know I keep it real. So we are kicking off this self-care series. I would say, and when I say we, I mean my business partner and I. I've been very fortunate in launching a new company called Supportable, and we make self-care themed stickers. With that being said, my business partner will not be featured in this video series. It will just be me. So I'd say, and by all means, you are not required to buy any of these stickers. We just wanted to let you know that this is a big reason and motivator for why we want to advocate for self-care. So before we get into the video, I just want to say that line will kind of look like this. We're going to give you a quick definition of self-care, what it means to me, as well as my 5 favorite ideas, and then we'll kind of round it out. So what self-care means. Self-care is defined as the ability or thoughts to take care of oneself and one's wealth. To me, that really means focusing not only on my health and wellness, but really taking that time to take care of myself, literally. So I would say for me, when it comes to work-life balance, that is something that has been a goal that I really achieved on. It's really something that I find grows and adapts as I really take on new projects and flexes in and out. But I've been very fortunate in having the ability to really work towards a work-life balance that's really great for me. So with that being said, here are our top 5 favorite self-care ideas for work-life balance, and these are in no particular order. Unplug, take time off, plan for a holiday weekend, eat lunch away from office or your workstation, leave work early or get work flexible hours. So I do want to say my experience is not unique in the fact that I would say there are a lot of companies that have fully remote workforces. There are a lot of companies that allow and give the opportunity to have work flexible hours. If you are fortunate enough to find an employer, or if you're looking in a job search and looking for that kind of culture, I can say with certain satisfaction it is achievable. Also want to say that it really depends on the company culture. And that being said, I do want to say my views are my own. They do not express any of my employers. So what I do want to do is just dive into a few of these ideas now. So unplug. To me, I think that's probably the goal that everyone wants to achieve, but few, or I would say few, feel comfortable enough to take it. And I would say, to me, unplugging means when it comes to closing out my workday, nobody can contact me unless it's an emergency. And what do I mean by that? And that's like the mild way of putting it. Not to say that I wouldn't take a call, but when I started working, I found that I was more productive when I wasn't always on call, wasn't always alert. With my job function, and I would say I'm not very customer facing, I don't have a need to be always on call and always on alert. In the past, I've worked with global teams and I have had to make accommodations, I would say, but there was always an understanding, with the idea being that, like, I would be available for such and such hours. Outside of that, it was not only not a guarantee, but it was always a respect that people wanted to give me my evening and my time to really unplug and recharge to get that great work-life balance. So I would say that's really what it kind of means in a nutshell to me. The way I achieve it is a few things. I have great companies and employers which really advocate for work-life balance. I would say, with that being said, I don't have work email on my cell phone. I know. I would say I also don't have any communication apps on my phone. In the past, or I'd say if it's like needed for like a project sprint, I will obviously make accommodations, but the majority of the time, I don't have these apps on my phones. I've often found that notifications after hours are really things that are not urgent or a priority. And I would say, and what I have done to accommodate people who might have emergencies or urgent needs is always leave and make my phone available as a way of accommodation. I often find if it's super important, somebody will call me. So I would say that's how I successfully unplug from work. It's really just making sure that those things are siloed off, and that I would say it gives me the idea to just, instead of focusing on work constantly, I'm able to shift and focus on things that I want to do in my personal life, like make YouTube videos. So I'd say that's unplugging. Number two, take time off. I don't think I need to give you enough statistics on the fact that Americans are not taking time off. I would say I often think that's something that's probably gotten worse in the past 2 years. I would say, but for those of us who have had the ability to take time off, who have had the ability to travel, it's been super important for self-care. I would say, and you don't necessarily need to travel, or you can find workarounds. I found out that when it came to taking time off during the pandemic, and by the way, I haven't taken a major trip since pre-pandemic levels, just because I haven't found the right place where I would want to go long term. I would say it's just something that I haven't considered quite yet, but that's me and my own personal comfort levels. That being said, when it comes to taking time off right now, the best way I have found to do it is to do more local trips within the state of, because I live in the Bay Area, and to really get an, I would say, get away for the day or 2 days and really just focus and appreciate. I would say, and for me, it's been getting out a lot in nature. I would say I had never been to Big Sur, and I did a day trip down to Big Sur with a friend. By taking that time off, I'm able to rest, recharge, I would say, and really get a better appreciation and love for the place where I live. So for me, that's one way in which I achieve self-balance. It's taking that time off. I cannot stress enough, again, just the fact that we will never get this time back. So we might as well enjoy this, and so by being more present, we are able to take better care of ourselves. I'd say, so building on that, not only are we not taking time off, and I would say another way in which we can focus on getting work-life balance is planning for a holiday weekend. This is something in which I've really tried to do. I really love the idea of it. I'd say we have so many paid holidays and 3-day weekends. And I feel like it's a missed opportunity in which people either don't travel or they don't use it to tackle like a new passion project. So many times, and again, I'm guilty of it too. People use the 3-day weekend to use like their day off to tackle errands. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you need to do to achieve work-life balance. But for the idea of self-care, I would encourage you to really focus on, I would say, looking at your next 3-day weekend to either tackle a new project or to do like a day trip somewhere. And it doesn't have to be, I would say, anywhere like super remote or super distance. Even taking like a 3-day weekend, if you're lucky to like go on a hike in the mountains, go to the beach, these are all great ways in which you can, I would say, take a day off and take that self-care. Likewise, by doing a passion project, I'm a fan of cooking and baking. So this past holiday weekend, what I did was I would say, I tackled a new recipe or two. I tried making profiteroles. It's been years since I've done it. That was a smashing success. I'd say likewise, I tried making mozzarella because cheese making is a new interest of mine. Big fail, but you know, it was on my day off, and if that's how I want to spend my day off, at least I got a great experience, and I was there away from work and really focusing on being present and mindful. So again, plan for a holiday weekend. Number 4, eat lunch away from your office. Now, I've worked fully remote, I've worked in office buildings, and I would say It doesn't matter where I am when when it comes to eating lunch. I try to do it away from my workstation as much as possible. I would say 99.9% of the time I am always either in the room in the kitchen, or I'd say if I'm in on site in like an office building, I'm in the break room. And I'd say, and it's because I find that when I take that 30-minute break to really focus on eating, I'm not stressed. I take a few minutes to not wolf down my food. I can appreciate my food and my meal. B, I'm able to chat and get some conversation in and really focus on topics and make meaningful connections. And C, I would say it just gives me a tiny bit of a break to stop focusing on the problems at hand, get that rest, and I would say really focus on tackling the afternoon goals that I need to. So for me, eating lunch away from my office is super important. That being said, leaving work early and work flexible hours. I would say this seems to be something that, how do I say it? Work flexible hours are becoming more commonplace, I would say, regardless of what your industry is. I work in tech, so I would say depending on what the employer is, it might be a different definition, but to me, it could mean anything from having the flexibility to leave during the day for an appointment, or it could be, as I would say, as broad as even having flexibility within your daily work hours. So I've had two very different ends of the spectrum, and I want to say that I have had the more broad. Right now, what I will talk about is like the more broad definition where you have flexibility within your work hours on your daily work. So for me, I would say, like, I'll be honest, having work flexible hours has really opened up a lot of freedoms. It's really allowed me to achieve a better work-life balance. By having the ability to either take an appointment, to go take an hour-long walk during my day, these allow me to tackle a lot of things, not only keep me super satisfied and productive as an employee, but they allow me to get my self-care in. I cannot stress enough. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have the ability to work out and stay healthy by not having an hour long to do that. I'd say, so for me, having work flexible hours is something that is great for achieving self-care. So I would say these are all my ideas and my favorite self-care ideas when it comes to achieving work-life balance. If you have any idea, we'd love to hear more about them. If you've tried them, let us know what you think. But just for recap, it's unplug, take time off, plan for a holiday weekend, eat lunch away from your work office or your workstation, leave work early or have work flexible hours. I'd say if that's something that you liked and you enjoyed this series, I want to say thank you for getting through it. Please consider hitting the like button. If you'd like to see more of this content, please hit subscribe. And I'd say, and feel free to check out Supportable. Until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.